Hiya, and welcome back to Heroes Advent, the game that teaches us that soup is the greatest medicine. Sorry, it's just a fact of life. Yep, we've already finished Max's route, now we are going to get started on Cody's route. Cody. Did Cody get enough sleep? Maybe it's still early into the morning and he already seems tired. Maybe I should stick around and lend him a hand. Long hair and soup. Seriously, my hair can be a fucking pain in the ass sometimes. But I wanted long hair. I've wanted long hair for a while, and now I finally have it. You looked around the tavern for the bear, and surely enough, you could see him serving food to a guildmate. As you thought, his eyes looked drowsy. But he still smiled, trying his best to remain professional. You can also see Max having breakfast at one of the back tables. Maybe we'll greet him later. You wanted to leave the bar, but when you noticed Cody passing by towards the kitchen. Call Cody or wait for the moment. Cody! Ah! This is difficult. Okay, we're waiting. Shy +1. Shy +1. What's happens if we call Cody? Confident +1. Okay, do we want confidence or shyness? Alright. Yeah, I'm just going to confirm that. You decided to sit there as the bear disappeared behind the kitchen door. You know what? I'm not fucking risking it because I don't know how Renpai shit works. Did Cody get enough sleep? Yeah, we already read all that. You decided to sit there as the bear disappeared behind the kitchen door. Ah! Ah! You know what? You know what? This is the perfect time for a poll. Hiya. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and reload the save. This is the second time today that I have reloaded a save. I like bluey quotes, like, I'm gonna start doing this, like, whenever I get sad, I'll just look up a bluey quote, and then I'll laugh my ass off. Just like, this is difficult. Or, but I don't want a valuable lesson. I just want an ice cream. Or, Daddy, stop. You stop, doors, doors, stop. Alright. We're going to be confident. Cody. The bear stopped just before you as he gave you the same smile. Yes, Dave? Was there something you needed? Yeah, well, about your job offer yesterday, I gave that some thought and I'd like to take it. Really? Don't you think you should talk to Max about this first? Difficult, yeah. I'll get to that later. He seems occupied right now as well. Alright then. He sighed, and almost immediately you could feel the tense look in his eyes relaxed. Finally! I can have my naps back. So, what's the commotion here? You both looked to Max as he chimed in, still munching on his hefty sandwich. Swallow first before you talk, Max. He said, and the Malamute snickered. You're lucky Ray isn't around right now. Heh, you know I never talk like that in front of him. The bear laughed a little, though you could sense some bit of sadness in it. Oh, really? Back then he always said you totally fell for it. I suppose you could say with age comes maturity, Max. Oh, shush you. You're only just 1 year older than Ray and I. Well, you seem to have places to be. Heading somewhere soon? Yeah, I'm going to the city in a bit. Got something to investigate around certain districts. Max seemed to be thinking for a second before looking at you. What about you, Dave? Oh, well, I wanted to help Cody around the tavern. Well, well, ain't that great news. You can say that again. I'll have to train him first, though. But finally, I can take my naps again. It's just a standard southern accent. I see. Well, I'm off to the city now. Good luck, Cody, and be sure to work hard, Dave. Will do. Have a safe trip, Max. Well then, let's head to the kitchen, shall we? You promptly followed the bear inside. There was a snow leopard working at the pantry, filling the large basket on the shelf with potatoes from the sack. Hey, look alive. We got something new. His ears perked up when Cody called him. Ah, finally. Ever since Gin left, we could really use an extra pair of hands around here. Indeed we do. Anyways, Dave, this here's Ashford, my sous chef and maitre d'. He's in charge of the mise en place and taking up orders from our patrons. Nice to meet you. Hope it won't be too much trouble for you guys. Yes, chord progressions. Pleasure to meet you too, Dave. And don't worry, we'll help you out too if you needed anything. You briefly shook hands with the leopard. You thought he looked familiar before you realized he was also the sole waiter the bear mentioned before. Good, good. Now that we've got the formalities out of the way, you'll be taking over Gin's shift, which is from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Ashford will help you get started. At least until a shift is over, that is. Right. Does it? It does. It does, I think. I don't know. It's like half the updates with no more future I just ignore. For the simple fact that, well, I can just ignore it. Because it's just extra content, not really pertinent to the main story. But let me check. Not yet. Not yet. Almost. Not yet. Yeah. Build 15. If we check the, update, doesn't include any new chapters, side stories, or anything of the sort. Instead, it's a massive improvement to what is already there. Yeah. Right. I know it's a long shift for a starter, but your paycheck will make up for it, I promise. That said, how much you get paid will depend on how well you performed on the same day. He winked at you at that last. Well, these customers aren't going to serve themselves. See you boys again next break time. With that, the bear left, leaving you and Ashford in the kitchen. Alright then, let's get right into it, shall we? I have about 3 hours left on my shift, and I'll try to teach you all I know. Okay. So the first thing you need to work on once your hours start is the mise en place. I'm sorry, but what does that mean? It means to put things in place. Basically, you prepare the ingredients in advance so that everything would be ready to use once you start cooking. This is very important, because during rush hours, food will have to come out of the kitchen as fast as it can. You won't even have time to cut your vegetables like Mommy would back at home. That might have been a bit harsh, I apologize. It's fine. If you say so, you can call me Ash, by the way. Alright, Ash. So what do I do now? You'll need to do some more preparations right through here. He led you to a station in the middle. Oh, I have to learn my knives first? You asked, eyeing the long knife rack on the wall. Correct. As you can see, there are a lot of those in the kitchen, each built differently for different kinds of tasks. But since you're new, learning how to use these five should suffice for now. He picked up a few from the rack, placing each neatly along the counter. So there's the chef's knife, paring knife, cleaver, or butcher knife, filleting knife, and utility knife. Chef's knife is an all-around, great for chopping, dicing, or mincing a lot of vegetables at once. Paring knife is best used to peel, trim, and remove seeds from fruits and vegetables. They're rather small otherwise, but you can still use them to cut, chop, or slice fruits. The butcher knife is for, well, butchering meat. It's pretty sharp, so take care to not cut yourself. In fact, it's just enough to slice through most cuts like butter, though I wouldn't recommend using it on anything with slimy skins. You're better off with chef's or utility for that. Next up is the fillet knife, which should be your go-to for preparing fish, and since I happen to have some fillets right now, might be a good spot to demonstrate. Ashford stepped away as you took a moment to process all the information so far. He went a little faster than you expected, and you felt like it would only go faster from here on out. So, funny thing, when technically my second job, I worked at an on-campus restaurant. At the school that I go to, I worked at an on-campus restaurant. And in that job, first off, it was god-awful. Management was fucking terrible. All the knife stuff could be boiled down to one thing. Knife is knife. And it's like, hearing this, it's like, oh shit, this is just like the cafeteria. Because I've also worked in the cafeteria. And neither of which is fun. It's to the point where I almost refuse to work in food service ever again, solely because of the management. Yeah, no. No, knife is not just knife, and make sure your knife is fucking sharp. Seriously, a dull knife is way more dangerous than a sharp knife. Hey, Dave, if you want to truly be the hero, dull your sword. A dull blade is 10 times more dangerous. I swear to God, a dull blade is like 10 times more dangerous than a sharp blade. Here, since most of our seafood produce comes in clean and ready to use, you only need to fillet the fish. He quickly moved the knives aside as he laid the fish along the cutting board. It can be a bit tricky, but once you've got a hold of the technique, it should be straightforward. First, you cut off the head with the cleaver, then run the fillet knife along the spine from head to tail like so. Remember to stay on top of the spine, not under, but top, like this. He went ahead with the preparation, swapping knives in the process. Eventually, he lifted the fillet and placed it onto a clean tray. You could tell he did it much slower than usual so that you could see his movement better. Even then, he made the whole thing look so easy and simple to you. Whoa, I see! What about the last one? The utility knife? I could use it to prepare smaller ingredients, but it's also quite handy for slimy stuff. Slimy stuff? Yes, there are those moan vines that we serve, for instance. It's considered a rare delicacy, and some of our patrons really enjoy it. I, for one, can't understand why. Vines? I guess I can handle it. Don't worry, Dave. I was just as reluctant when I first had to chop up those slimy stems. The taste is quite strange and metallic, too. The way he described the taste was oddly familiar, and you had a feeling it wasn't the first time you put it in your mouth. Regardless, it seemed quite bizarre that something like this would be used as a cooking ingredient. Either way, be mindful of the flour tube. The vines can still move, even when severed for quite some time. Alright, noted. That's all the tools out of the way. Let's move on to preparations. For fruit and vegetable, make sure to store them in this liquid. He showed you a shelf with several small containers filled with dark-colored liquid. It will help keeping them fresh and vibrant and prevent oxidation. Got it. As for meat and fish, stack them inside the empty containers on the meat shelves once you've done preparing them. You can grab more from the storage room from the back in case you ran out. And that's about it. Just remember to label them correctly. Hiya. Just remember to label them correctly. For example, if the meat you prepared was buffet and it was a steak, put buffet steak. Simple enough, right? Right! That will make your life easier when you need to grab something later while cooking. The same goes for fruits and vegetables such as yamatos, which pairs great with buffet steaks, wouldn't you say? Um, Yamatos? Yes, you know what that is, right? Everybody knows what a Yamato is. Well, unless you're an islander. I'm sorry, that was probably very inappropriate of me. It's alright, Ash. Truth be told, I'm not exactly from around these parts. Is that so? Yeah, I'm still quite new to Arborea. New to Arborea? The snow leopard's eyes lit up almost immediately at that last. Almost like when Ash first learned that you weren't actually from this world. Alex first learned that you weren't actually from this world. Oh, whoops, did I say that? I mean, yes, I'm new to this part of Arborea. I only just moved here recently. Ah, right. So you're another immigrant, huh? That would explain it. Where exactly are you from, then? I'm sorry, Ash, but I don't think that's important right now. Could you tell me more about what Yamatos are, though? Right. He went to the other side of the pantry as you breathed a huge sigh of relief in your mind. Fair enough. You mentally kicked yourself for almost exposing your identity, something that Elisa had explicitly warned you against. I guess Max and his friends were an exception. She seemed to really trust them after all. She also never really told you the exact reason, but whatever happened must have been very serious. That said, to constantly deny being from another world would be a lie. And you were always bad at lying. Okay then. I do have a question, though. If any of the developers of this game are watching, I have a question. I have a very strong, simple question. It's a very simple question. If any of the developers are watching, please answer. If you want to. I have a question. Why are all the people in the kitchen fucking thick? Like, look at Ashford. He's thick with, like, 4 C's. Before you knew it, the snow leopard was already back at the cutting board. Here it is. He promptly placed 2 of what you assumed were the aforementioned Yamatos, which turned out to be quite similar to potatoes in shape, only with a darker and slightly crusty skin. As you can see, these are quite the household staple for anybody having lived here long enough. You kept a close eye on the cutting board, trying to avoid eye contact with him. There was an audible crunch as Ashford sliced them in half, and on the inside was a starchy surface that somewhat glistened under the kitchen light. The color reminds you of the purple yam you've seen before, and for a brief moment you wondered if that had something to do with the strange name. Most of what he was talking about ended up a blur to you, but you do recall him saying something about these Yamatos having a strong salty flavor. I'm going to shut the hell up now. So why is it called Yamato exactly? It sounds more like a person than a plant to me. Actually, we named it after the islander cook that loved it so much he died from salt poisoning due to overconsumption. What? Really? Haha, no, of course not. Don't believe everything they tell you out there, Dave. Oh, right. Noted. Well, that's all I know about Yamato so far. I would love to tell you more, but I'm afraid our time is running a little short. Right, hold on. He went for a cabinet and came back with a book, which was more like a spell tome the more you looked at it. Here, this is the cookbook Cody gave me when I first worked here. You can have it for now. Aside from the big list of recipes, there are also sections dedicated to ingredients and how to handle them. You might find that handy as well. Alright, that's actually very helpful, thanks. You put it on a nearby table for the time being. So what about being a waiter? I'm not very good at dealing with people, to be honest. It's okay, Dave. Just stay calm and remember the 3's. 3 S's. 3 S's? Yes. Smile, salute, and service. Follow that and you'll be set for life, he said while clearing his throat. Good day, madam. Good day, madam. He ended with a small bow and a courteous smile. Welcome to the honeysuckle. May I take your order? You shuddered. It felt like the snow leopard just put on a different act just then. I don't know if I can do that. Just relax, take a deep breath, and stay calm. Remember, smile, salute, and service. Smile, salute, service. Okay. You smiled nervously. Also, don't forget to give the customers the menu of the day recommendation. We have a different set for that every day, so be sure to ask Cody about it before you head out. Understood. Oh, one last thing. Never, and I repeat, never, ever recommend the chef's special to nobody. I wouldn't want to either. It was a horrible experience for me.
So you've also went through the torture, eh?
You could put it like that, yeah.
I see. Well then, let's get to work, shall we?
He took a brief glance at the clock.
We have about an hour left before I have to leave. I'll guide you through some ingredient preparations, so put on your apron and grab the appropriate knives.
Hiya. You followed his instructions as he began putting a dozen Yamatos onto the counter. Okay, what knife do we need? I think we either need a chef knife or a utility knife or a butcher knife. One of those three, either the chef, butcher, or utility. For a Yamato. Shit, I also forgot. I'm gonna... You sat at the stool beside him as he handed you one of those metal rods you've seen on cooking television before.
Here, take the steel. Always remember to sharpen your knives before using them.
And just like how that certain famous chef would sharpen his knives on TV, the snow leopard seemed to do exactly that almost effortlessly. It was a little tricky trying to follow his movement at first, but it didn't give you much trouble running the knife's edge along the rod.
Good, good. Now try to keep up and help me through this batch.
You then worked through several different types of vegetables with him. Most of them were quite identical to the ones back in your world. You weren't really ever good at cooking in the kitchen, but surprisingly enough, Ashford seemed relatively pleased. From peeling, trimming, to removing seeds, all it took was a few instructions from Ashford, and you were fast on track. Yeah, we're about to just we're gonna die. We're gonna fucking die. Standard FVN protagonist is we're going to fucking die. We are going to die. You were fast on track. Yeah, did I read that? From peeling, trimming, to removing seeds, all it took was a few instructions from Ashford, and you were fast on track. You helped him sorting through a few batches of vegetables and fruits before shift was over. Break time at last. Cody eventually returned to the kitchen while Ashford packed up his stuff. Thank you again for your hard work today, Ash. Cody said with a smile as he approached the leopard, promptly passing a coin pouch to him.
Thank you too, Cody, sir. I'll be back later tonight as usual,
he said while pocketing the pouch. And how's Dave?
He's still a work in progress, sir, but I've shown him the basics, and he should be good to go for now.
Okay, seriously. They're both thick. Like, you know what?
Alright, Dave, now just hold it.
How did you stab your spleen? Yeah, at least Cody is gay and a bottom. Like, goddamn. At least all that cake isn't going to waste.
I'll teach him more later tonight or tomorrow, of course.
Excellent. Well then, have a safe trip home, Ash. Cody gave his sous chef quite the bear hug on his way out.
Oof, I will.
He patted the bear's back as he muttered,
You're crushing me a bit there now, sir.
Oh, sorry about that. Cody chuckled as the leopard straightened his outfit before heading out.
See you tonight, sir.
Well, now that things have slowed down a bit, the bear stretched for a bit after taking off his apron. I'm going to need my daily nap. I'll be back in about an hour and a half to prep for lunch hour. So in the meantime, I'll need you to be on the lookout for new customers. I'm sure you could handle that, right? I'll do my best. Great. That's what I was hoping to hear. He rubbed his eyes as he tried to hold back a yawn. I know you've just started, but don't worry. Food at this hour should be either ready to serve or simple to prepare. Just take a look at the board beside the grill in case you forgot how to cook something. Understood. Have a good rest for now, Cody. Indeed. Heaven knows how much I need it right now. With that, Cody left the kitchen through a door next to the storage room. Must be his own living quarters there. You took a deep breath to calm yourself as you surveyed the kitchen again. So far, all the ingredients are already prepped and ready to use. Ashford had also given you a head start by labeling the containers properly. While you were still wondering what to do next, you could hear the door chimes ringing. Customers! You almost yelped as you frantically took the menu and prepared to leave the kitchen. That was also when you remembered about today's special. Well, drat, Cody's already sleeping, so obviously I can't ask him. What should I do? Go greet the patrons or look around for it. On a scale from 1 to 10, my friends, we're fucked. In every possible scenario, we're fucked. We're going to fuck this up extremely badly. You're already panicking a little, but you recall Cody saying something about the cooking instructions at the board, so you decided to take a look there. Thankfully, the first thing you saw was a yellow sticky note on the wall next to the grill. Today's special, grilled prawn-yard with Caesar salad and spaghetti carbonara with baked quail. Oh, I fucking love spaghetti carbonara. It's my favorite dish. Huh, this must be it. Fucking love carbonara. It's my favorite dish. You gave the note another careful read before heading out. As you left the kitchen, you could see a couple seated at one of the tables out front. Judging by their appearance and demeanor, you assumed they were married. You were reading from the menu pamphlet when you approached. Wait. They were reading from Smile Salute Service or Service Smile Salute? We are going to fuck this up so badly. Good morning, sir and ma'am. Welcome to Honeysuckle. How may I take your order? You said with a smile, trying your best not to fumble over your own words. Good day. The husband spoke, his eyes still on the menu. So far, neither of them seem phased, so you must be doing something right. We haven't really decided on what to eat yet. There are a lot of options. Anything you can recommend us? See, here's the thing about carbonara. My mom, she used to make it, like, every other week. Or every week or so. I fucking love carbonara. It is my favorite dish. I managed to talk the school cafeteria into making it once. Or a couple times. And it was so good. Like, I had forgotten how to... It's literally my favorite dish. Anything you can recommend us? Well, for today we have a beautiful grilled prawn-yard with Caesar salad, or we could go for the spaghetti carbonara with baked quail, which taste fantastic as they're in season right now. You breathe a sigh of relief in your mind, since you remember Elisa did say that quails were in season. That sounds delicious. I'll take the second one. What about you, dear?
I'll have the salad, please.
You gave them a courtesy nod as you noted their choices down. And any drinks?
Just water is fine. We don't like drinking too much sweet in the morning.
The wife said, and the husband seemed to hesitate for a bit. Maybe he had something else in mind, but didn't want to upset his partner. I'll go with that too. Alright, please wait here for a moment. You hurried back to the kitchen to prepare the food. It took you a few moments studying the instructions on the board before you could really get going. Right, the specials for today. Grilled prawn-yard and Caesar salad. You said to yourself while searching for the ingredients at the pantry. It was quite daunting since this was technically 4 dishes in place of 2, but it turned out to be straightforward, or so you'd hoped. You ended up charring the prawns a little, and you made quite a mess trying to figure the side dish out, but at least you didn't toss a terrible salad. Now onto the spaghetti carbonara and baked quail. You scratched your head while reading from the recipe on the board. Elisa makes the best baked quails, and I don't think I can ever live up to that. Just as you feared, you probably have overcooked the quail, and the pasta was still a little tougher than you'd like. But overall, there was no major harm done, and surprisingly enough, you found both dishes quite tasty. Perhaps you've done better than you thought. You glanced at the clock to see that about 20 minutes had passed. This order alone had taken quite a bit of your time. Yeah. It was pretty slow, given that all the ingredients have already been prepared. And only the cooking part was involved. But you felt like your progress was steady, and the food came out better than you expected. Then again, the instructions Cody left at the board were very detailed, so much so that even someone inexperienced like you could pull it off. You quickly returned to clean up the stations after serving the food to your first customers. You were curious about watching them
It's
eating,
time to drink water.
but you couldn't bring yourself to see them judging your food, so
It's
you spent
time
the
to
next
drink
minutes
water.
doing the dishes.
It's time to drink water.
Eventually, you noticed a couple leaving, so you came by to
It's
collect your
time to
payment and
drink
clear the
water.
table. As you came back to the kitchen, you quickly counted the sum purely out of curiosity. Much to your surprise, there was a bit of an extra. Given your clumsiness, you would assume they must have overpaid. But the prices are written there on the menu, clear as day. So as unbelievable as it was, you have received an actual tip. You can't wait to talk to Cody about this, but for now, you pocketed the extras and put the rest into the lockbox under the counter. Soon after, several more people came in with relatively simple orders, so you repeated the process all over again for the next hour or so before Cody eventually returned. Oh, I actually did yawn. Oh, welcome back, Cody. You greeted the bear as he emerged from his room. Hey, Dave. You've been working hard, I see. He smiled and giving you a shoulder pat. We got Cody love. +2. You told Cody about the extra coins you've got after you're done with your current task, and his smile grew even brighter. Ah, so you got your first tips. You can keep it and spend it on whatever you want, of course. Consider it a perk of working at the honeysuckle. Keep up the great work, Dave, and I'm sure you'll get tipped even better. You could see his eyes flashed with pride and glee as he patted your head. I see. I was only following what you and Ashford have shown me, so I'm surprised things are going really well so far. Ha nonsense. Our instructions might have been there to guide you, but you did all the work on your own. You should be proud of yourself, Dave. Now, let's get back to work, shall we? Right, so what should I do now? Well, we're running quite low on sides for our grilled menu and garnishes for our pasta menu. So it'd be great if you could chop up some vegetables right now. Okay. You grabbed a handful of vegetables from the pantry and prepared to chop them with the... Hang on. Siri, what knife do I use to chop up vegetables? Do I use a utility knife, butcher knife, chef knife, filleting knife, or paring knife? Okay, it says a paring knife, but I don't wanna, Should I use a filleting knife, or paring knife, or utility knife to cut up vegetables?
Here's what I found.
I know. I'm just gonna go ahead and save right there. I am about to fucking cry. Cody! Cody! I'm gonna guess chef knife. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank fuck. Oh, thank God. I was about to fucking cry. Is something wrong, Dave? Dave, are you okay? I don't know which knife to use.
Emotional damage.
I swear to God, Cody's going to come back here and be all like, Dave, are you okay? I heard crying. What? Why are your pants wet? I didn't know which knife to use. I got overwhelmed. Then I got very scared when I picked up the knife, and then I kind of peed myself. Can I go change? What? Go change. Then get back here. And you use this knife. Thank you! You're still a little clumsy with knives, but you felt like you're slowly getting better. You also noticed Cody smiling at you as he observed for the moment, and you felt quite at ease. After just a moment, all the vegetables along with herbs and other spices have been prepped and ready to go. Cody still did most of the work, though. Okay, looks good. I'll go prepare the sauces now. Sauce? But aren't there already some in the pan, Cody? There are, but not all of them can be used like that. Some can't be stored for long, so they need to be made fresh on the spot. Here, come and watch closely. I need you to be able to make these if and when I'm not around. He quickly grabbed a yellow egg and cracked it open. Then he separated the yolk into a bowl with an orange-colored fruit juice from the Take one egg yolk and mix it with 2 tablespoons of carrot fruit juice. Now remember, it's carrot fruit juice and not carrot juice. You see, carrots have 2 edible parts that might confuse people who aren't very familiar with it. There's the fruit that's that is quite sour and has a citrusy fragrance. Then there's the root, that is usually big and fibrous, but is sweet and very watery instead. The root is usually diced, small cubes for salad, bigger chunks for super stew. So be sure to keep this in mind. It will help you a lot in nailing the sauce. Got it! Fuck, I already forgot. Now you just whisk them with your hand vigorously until the mixture thickens and doubles in volume. Then place the bowl over a saucepan with barely simmering water. Notice that the water should not touch the bottom of the bowl. From there, just keep whisking rapidly. Remember to not let the eggs get too hot or they will get cooked and become scrambled. You kept a close eye on the bear as the bear worked on the sauce in a flash, and then slowly drizzle in some melted blue flake fat while you whisk. You don't have to go fast, but do keep the movement consistent, otherwise the sauce will split. Once the mixture has thickened and doubled in volume again, take it off the heat and add a touch of salt and smoked paprika powder. And that is how you make hollandaise sauce. I already forgot all that! Cody said as he admired his handiwork for a second before placing it back on the counter. Whoa, I see, I'll try my best to memorize it! You said, but couldn't help feeling like you missed a step or two. The whole thing was quite mesmerizing to you, like those late-night cooking shows that you used to watch when you were younger, but always struggled to remember the details afterwards. What's wrong now, Dave? I forgot! No pressure, Dave. I'm sure you'll get it right. And even if you didn't, consider it practice for next times. Ah, that's right. You could always adjust the seasonings at the end, so it's very important to taste while you cook. Here. He handed you a small spoon and you took a little bit of the sauce with it. This is pretty good. You closed your eyes, trying your best to savor the taste. It was very creamy, sweet, and a bit tangy. The smoked paprika certainly gave the flavor a lot more depth, while the buffalo fat really added to the savoriness of it. Overall, it was very well balanced in terms of flavor. I'm glad you liked it, Dave. The bear smiled at you while pouring the sauce into a bottle. Now, I'll need you to make some while I go out front and prepare for the lunch rush. Think you're up for it? Yes, certainly. Excellent. I'll be back in a moment. Cody! I forgot. It's so creamy. Fuck. I swear to God, if Gordon Ramsay did a Bob Ross style show where like he just painted the entire time, it would be fucking hilarious. He's like, does this tree look fucking happy to you? Also, try not to piss yourself again. I'll do my best. As soon as you left the kitchen, you took the sauce bowl and cleaned it for the next batch. All right, come on, Dave, you can do this. Took a deep breath and held your face for a second. Remember the instructions and the rest will work itself out. First, take an egg yolk and put some... Then right after that, you... I think you whisk vigorously. And after that, you put the bowl over a saucepan that is barely simmering water, which should not touch the bowl at all. Can I leave it be? The egg is still raw, so it should be okay, right? Cody! Oh, right. Then you put the melted buffalo fat in, but how should I do it? Not good show. Not good show. No. Cody's just going to be all like, oh, for fuck's sake. Yes, Dave. Then I think you need to keep whisking until the sauce gets even creamier. That's also when you would... And then add the seasoning, which is salt and smoked paprika powder. That sounds about right. Let's do this. You clapped your hands in determination as you started working right away. Yay, we got friendship! Elisa! You weren't exactly sure if you could replicate the sauce, but it seemed like you've somewhat nailed it. Still, it seemed to lack a few things here and there, but it didn't taste too bad, and the creaminess was there. You quickly made a few more and filled the sauce bottle to the brim. Cody eventually returned after some time with a bunch of dirty plates. A big smile bloomed on his face the moment he noticed the full bottle. Wow, you certainly did it. I'm quite impressed. You do have a knack for cooking, after all. He grabbed the bottle after dumping the dishes into the sink. But whether the taste is on point or not, I'll be the judge of that. He squeezed a bit of sauce onto his finger, then gave it a taste after spending a moment admiring it. Well, not bad, Dave. Not bad at all. The bear grinned as he patted your back quite hard. Oof. Thank you, Cody. I couldn't have done this without your instructions. I know, but as I said before, all that is just merely there to guide you. You're the one doing all the work by yourself. And you didn't piss yourself this time. I'm proud of you, Dave. Thank you. I suppose you're right. Thanks again, Cody. No problem, bud. Say, it's almost rush hour now. You ready, Dave? Oh, fuck, when I worked in a restaurant, I fucking hated rush hour. I fucking hated rush hour. It was always 7 p.m. It was always 7 p.m. Yes, Cody. Good. Now, get out there and give them the best service you can offer. He winked at that last, and you couldn't help but scoff while keeping a straight face. Understood. We're going to fail so fucking hard, it's not even funny. We're going to just fuck up, and Cody's going to be all like, just, maybe you aren't cut out to work at the Honeysuckle. Lunchtime was here, and sure enough, lots of people and a handful of guildmates have come to the tavern. The seats were filled up with hungry patrons faster than you could count. You took a deep breath and kept Ashford's advice in mind as you served the customers accordingly. The sheer amount of people was simply overwhelming, and despite your best effort, you still missed some orders. But because of how you handled the situation, they all seemed fairly understanding, and some even gave you a tip despite the long wait. You wouldn't want to admit that money was a big motivator, but the tip did help you carry on your service with a bright smile on your face. After a while, you could tell the rush hour was coming to a close as fewer people showed up to the tavern. Took a small breather in the kitchen as orders began to come in at a slower rate. Welcome back, Dave. So, how did it go? Well, I would say so far so good. It was exhausting, but I can see why the work is worth it. I got some tips, too. Nice, I did say the tips would come in so long as you keep up the good work, didn't I? Oh, and come eat lunch if you want, Dave. The tavern should be quite calm right now. Sounds good, but I need to serve this one lady first. You smiled as he nodded knowingly. After wrapping things up, you finally returned to the kitchen and again for the lunch break. Cody was already at the table in the middle of the room, with 2 plates full of fried Yamatos along with chunks of meat and cheese. Here you are, you've worked hard, Dave. Come, let's eat lunch. He poured some brown sauce over the food as you took a seat at the table. The food looks delicious, Cody. Thanks. Now, don't be shy. Dig in. He gestured towards your plate as he began eating. You decided to take a hearty scoop of the meal and took a bite. The fried Yamatos was the first thing that stood out to you, crispy on the outside but fluffy on the inside. The tender juiciness of the... You know what? I'm just going to send myself to horny jail. I'm going to send... Oh, thank you. I'm just going to send myself to horny jail. I'm sending myself to horny jail. I'm just going to send myself to horny jail. And you have to promise there'll be no more crying. A single tear and you're out of here. Got it? Yeah! The tender juiciness of the meat and savory sauce really made up for the Yamato's distinct lack of flavors. The creamy cheese also... Fuck! Fuck! The creamy cheese also offset the strong flavors of the dish quite well. The way the flavors melded so well together was simply delightful, and so you went through the whole meal in a flash. Here, come get another serving if you want. Cody pointed at the bowls on the counter while he finished up his plate. Alright, don't mind if I do. You went to take more food along with that special gravy sauce. God damn it. The food was still delicious, but as expected, But as expected, you're eating through it a little slower than the first plate. So, what do you think of the tavern? Well, I like it here so far. It's tough work, but the place is very lively. All of our patrons seem nice, and the food is splendid. The bear chuckled as he lifted a spoonful of your meal for emphasis. Yeah, but still not as good as what your rabbit lady friend makes, correct? Well, I mean, you did admit her cooking was pretty hard to top, even though Max always said he wanted to come here to eat your meat. Fuck! Fuck! Oh shit, he does what my grandmother does. He doesn't laugh. He scoffs. My grandmother does that. She doesn't laugh. She scoffs. Fuck! 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 The bear almost spit out his food as he scoffed, and you really wondered if you said something wrong. Oh, wow. You've only known him for a short time, but I can see his way with words has already rubbed off on you, Dave. You were a bit worried there, but the bear seemed rather impressed at you, and you weren't really sure why. Yeah, but still, I'm very glad to hear that you fancy this place so far. Truth be told, I have been here for quite a while, and for the first few years, I was not very fond of it. Oh, really? I thought you owned this place all along. Not exactly. I may not look the part, but I started out as the janitor and dishwasher of this old cafeteria. I worked my way up until the last owner left the place to me. I see. So why didn't you like this place at first? The bear seemed to space out for a moment as he hesitated. It's complicated, but let's just say that people didn't use to lack the cafeteria food, and I didn't either. It was dreadful, and that's still putting it lightly. Oh, so just like typical school cafeteria food then. School? What is that? Basically an academy back in my world. I've never seen any schools as big as the guild here, though. And most people from my world hated that kind of food because it's often so bland and greasy. Something that you can only eat if you're starving. I see. Then I suppose that's not so different here after all. In fact, that was the reason why everybody preferred to dine elsewhere, either a restaurant in the city or grab a quick meal from the hawker merchants outside the guild. I was lucky to even have someone swinging by to have the free food back then. Oh, that sounds kind of depressing. I'm sorry, Cody. Yeah, it's alright, Dave. Don't let my sob story drag you down. He patted your back with a smile. Okay. You did make me pretty curious, though. Yeah, I see. It'll be a story for another time, though. Aw, alright. I hope I'm not being too nosy. Might be a tad slow, but I understand that it's not always pleasant to talk about your past. Nah, it's okay, Dave. I think you're quite inquisitive, and that's a good thing. It means you're actually a fast learner after all. Oh, shit. Who's doing that? I'm glad you speak so highly of me, Cody. Don't worry about it now. Eat up. We need to prepare for the night hours. You went to do the dishes after you both finished eating. Thanks again for the meal, Cody. It was great. No problem, Dave. Oh, and don't worry. The lunch isn't coming out of your paycheck. Consider it another perk of working under me. Wow, free meals? I guess I should have had more then. Indeed, you should have. So remember to stuff yourself properly next time around. Right, I'll hold you to that. You both shared a hearty chuckle as you resumed your work. You smiled to yourself. Maybe you would enjoy working here after all. Things were a lot slower in the afternoon since there were far less customers at those hours. Cody decided to take a second nap for the day. Apparently he would nap quite frequently throughout the day since he couldn't have a full night's sleep. What is that dog doing? What are you doing? So, just like real bears then. You chuckled at the thought as you watched him leaving the kitchen to take another rest. You took your time sorting through the ingredients as Cody instructed, and before you knew it, hours had passed. Everything has been prepped, and the clock already hit 6 p.m. Cody also woke up from his nap, just about in time for the night rush. Hiya, Dave. Anything interesting happened while I was away? No. Not much, actually. Actually, I think nothing happened at all. It was mostly calm and quiet. Ah, I see. Fair enough. The bear grunted as he stretched. Well, it's nearly the end of your shift. The rush hour is still, well, an hour away, so you can take it easy when Ashford gets here. Okay. At that moment, the back door swung open and you could see the snow leopard walking in. Ah, speak of the devil. Good evening, Ash.
Good evening, Cody, sir. Evening to you too, Dave.
Good evening, Ash. Welcome back.
Thank you. And how was your first day? Did you perform well, Dave?
Yes, actually, it was all thanks to your instructions and advice, too, Ash. I even managed to get some tips.
Oh, is that so? That's great. Keep up the good work, Dave.
It's time to drink water. It's time to
You
drink
seem to be
water.
quite a natural.
It's time to drink water.
Thanks, Ash. I'll keep
It's
doing my
time
best.
to drink water.
Dave! Cody approached you as he passed you a coin pouch. Your first paycheck here. Cody, love +2. Let's face it, that's the only important thing. Thank you for hard work, Dave. You've done well, and I don't know what I'd do if you didn't decide to help me this morning. I'll see you next morning. Try not to come in late, okay? Okay. You said with a bright smile as your heart was filled with overjoy. It was your very first paycheck after all, which means all the hard work is paid off. It was only your first day at work, but you felt so happy. Thank you for trusting me as well. I'll do my best from here on out. That's what I'd like to hear. Cody smiled as he pulled you into a bear hug, which was quite nice at first, but then you felt like you were getting crushed in his embrace. Cody! And remember, no more crying, got it? Yeah! You whimpered, looking at the leopard for him. But he was whistling while purposefully glancing away. Damn it! Eventually, he let go of you, leaving you woozy for a moment as you tried to catch your breath. Thanks, Cody. See ya! See you, Dave. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. Here. He handed you a meal box. For your dinner. Oh, thanks. No problem. You take care now. You waved back at Cody as you left the kitchen through the back door, before circling your way back to the main entrance. Now was where you saw Max and a tiger walking side by side. The latter had his arm wrapped around the Malamut's shoulder. Max! You called to him as they approached the entrance. Oh, Dave, how have you been? You look like you've had a long day today. Yes, but things did go swimmingly, though. I even got tipped quite a few times. Oh, that's good. Working in restaurants must be pretty hard. But you not only survived, but also got tipped. I'm impressed. He gave you a head pat and ruffled your hair, and you could already feel your tail flicking wildly again. Thanks, Max. So how was your Here's a little boy, Max. Ugh, not this bitch. Hi, bitch. You looked to the tiger as he approached you both. That's right, Dave. I want you to meet my friend, Toby. He's a fellow mercenary, and Toby, this is Dave. He's new around here and wants to be a mercenary, too. Nice to meet you, Toby. Well, nice knowing you, too, Dave. You briefly shook hands with the tiger. If you have questions about being a mercenary, feel free to ask away next time we talk. But for now, let's get going, shall we, Max? It's getting pretty late. Right, let's go. Talk to you later, Dave. He waved at you as they headed inside. You didn't want to assume much, but he and Toby seemed to have history together. Also, Cody told me what happened. He said you were crying like a baby when you dropped a knife and you even pissed yourself. Cody? Whatever it was, you were simply too tired to even bother right now, so you headed straight back to your dorm room. After taking a much-needed shower, you collapsed into bed and rested for a moment. You still couldn't believe things have gone so well for your first day. Not only were your mentors pleased with your work, but you also received quite a handful of tips for a first-timer. You were very exhausted after the whole thing, but you felt proud of yourself and quite excited for what's to come tomorrow. After resting for some time, you decided to open the meal box Cody gave. Your dinner turned out to be a piping hot buffalo steak. You couldn't tell when exactly Cody made it and how he did it so fast without you noticing, but it's still quite a pleasant surprise. You took a bite and smiled. The dish still tasted amazing. You quickly finished up and went to bed early for tomorrow's work. Beep, beep, beep. You awake from the loud alarm as per usual. You rubbed your eyes as you sat up in bed. We're going to leave off here tonight.
La 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 la.
And we're going to do an extra stream tonight. Probably going to be more Stanley Parable. Unless I find something else, and by that I mean it is going to be Stanley Parable. Anyways, if you don't want to stick around for that, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.